That man in the corner is a dowser. This man is dowsing also. This man looks like he might be peeing, but actually he's dowsing as well, and unfortunately, so are these men. That's James Randi. He's not dowsing. Trust me on that. So what is dowsing? Well, it's just a means of looking for water, usually underground, using some kind of sixth sense. Sometimes known as divining or water witching, or water dowsing, or water finding. This practice is hundreds of years old and is practiced by many different cultures. Now, it's true that people would dowse for things other than water, such as gold or oil, underground mineral deposits, even grave sites. But what I want to talk to you about today is water dowsing, because how I became known as Zen the Dowser was by dowsing for water. In 2008, I went to DragonCon in Atlanta, Georgia. DragonCon is the largest multimedia popular culture convention focusing on science fiction and fantasy, gaming, comics, literature, art, music, and film in the universe, or so their website claims. While I was there, I attended a panel put on by James the Amazing Randi and the James Randi Educational Foundation, links below. The subject of the panel was dowsing. I didn't go there intending to become the most successful dowser ever tested by the JREF, but that is what happened.
This can has water in it. This can has sand in it. Now, can you demonstrate your dowsing ability?
Dowsers use lots of different methods, but there are several standards, the most common of which is the forked tree limb or branch, like you can see here. The dowser will strut or move around the area where he's looking for whatever material, and the branch will move or respond to the presence of that material. I was using something more like this. 2 bent wire rods that, held in each hand, would cross each other when in the presence of water.
And here's how you do this. You get in your mind that what you're looking for is water, okay? Hold these so that they move very easily. Almost like you can't hold them steady, which is exactly how they should be. That looks pretty good. Okay, now, have in your mind that you're looking for water. Have in your mind that when the rods get near the water, they'll cross. Okay? Now go ahead and give it a try and see if it works. They crossed. Okay, they crossed over the water can. Now maybe he's dowsing for cans. I don't know. So we have to check against the one with sand in it. So go ahead and dowse for the one with sand in it. Now this time, you're checking for water. If there's no water, they shouldn't cross. Have that idea in your mind. Okay. No, they did not cross. Okay, now, it works!
Well, not exactly. What we're seeing here is an example of the ideomotor effect. The ideomotor effect is a psychological phenomenon wherein the subject makes motions unconsciously, as in reflexive responses to pain. The body sometimes reacts reflexively to ideas alone without the person consciously deciding to take action. For instance, tears are produced by the body unconsciously in reaction to powerful emotions. Automatic writing, dowsing, facilitated communication, and Ouija boards have also been attributed to the effect of this phenomenon. Mystics have often attributed this motion to paranormal or supernatural forces, and many subjects are unconvinced that their actions are originating solely from within themselves. That's where this man comes in. James Randi has an international reputation as a magician and escape artist, but today he's best known as the world's most tireless investigator and demystifier of paranormal and pseudoscientific claims. In 1996, he founded the James Randi Educational Foundation. Its mission to promote critical thinking by reaching out to the public and media with reliable information about paranormal and supernatural ideas so widespread in our society today. The JREF offers a $1 million prize to anyone who can show, under proper observational conditions, evidence of any paranormal, supernatural, or occult power or event. You know, like dowsing. So it was that in DragonCon 08, in Atlanta, Georgia, I answered Mr. Randi and the James Randi Educational Foundation's challenge to get up on stage and test my ability to dowse for water.
It works! I saw water, and I dowsed for it, and they crossed. It works, and they're convinced that it works. And they'll test themselves over and over again, always with open cans. What we have found is when we put lids on the cans, suddenly the ability disappears. However, you are now confident that the dowsing rods will cross over water. Is that correct?
Easiest $1,000,000 ever.
All right. At the end of this presentation, we may be asking for donations to the JREF. Right now, let's have you take the stage. I have some very strict rules here, okay? You may not touch the cans. You may not move the cans in any way. You may not jump up and down near the cans or anything like that, okay?
Or touch them with your foot.
Actually, we have one thing that we should do, though. Now, I see I've made a mistake. What's the difference with the cans up here and the cans down here?
Carpet.
Okay, numbers is one, sure. If this doesn't work, he could say, oh, the Sharpie is interfering with my abilities to douse. You laugh. We've had much more ridiculous things said. But there's actually something legitimate. Higher is another thing. We can't really do anything about that because of the setup. Well, it's actually missing a handle. One of those cans is broken. But that's fine. No, the answer is the lids. Maybe the lids are blocking the rays. No, I'm serious. I mean, I could actually believe that if somebody told me that, the lids are blocking the rays. So I'm going to give you a chance. Do you want to test again with the lids on? No? You're that confident. Okay. Just so long as everyone saw that we actually gave him the chance.
I crossed the stage, dowsing rods in hand, scanning each of the 10 paint cans in turn, looking for the 3 paint cans that contained water. And the results? Well...
So...
Now after this, we'll see the urination test again.
Wow.
Yes, everybody.
He did really, really well. He got 2. No, seriously. I think that's one of the best results we've had. So, honestly, in all seriousness, the professional dowsers have never performed that well. The guy we yanked out of the audience is like, what the hell? He does okay. You have the best results of any dowsers the James Randi Educational Foundation has ever tested.
And he's a virgin dowser.
He said he's going to keep it to himself.
Very rare.
Now, I would like to be able to say that I have some mystical ability to detect underground sources of water, or even sense water in paint cans, but I just can't. Honestly, all I really did was guess, and the fact of the matter is, even though I beat chance, that doesn't make it statistically significant. So what's the harm? Why does James Randi and his foundation find it necessary to prove guys like this wrong? Why am I making a video about this? Well, because there is some harm. Sure, nobody gets hurt if you dig for your well in the wrong spot in your backyard because an old man with a branched stick told you to. All it costs you is a couple of bucks. But unfortunately, dowsing is employed in many other ways. In 2002, the Department of Energy of the U.S. government invested in something called the Passive Magnetic Resonance Anomaly Mapping System. 400,000 or more U.S. taxpayer dollars were spent on this nonsense until eventually the Office of Science and Technology was consulted, and they concluded that it was nothing more than a dowsing rod with a couple of wires hanging off the end. And it's not always about losing a few bucks either. When Christen Jessop, age 9, was abducted near her Ontario, Canada home, psychics and dowsers flooded the police with tips of her location. Ultimately, she was found to have been murdered and her next-door neighbor charged with the crime. None of the tips provided by the dowsers or psychics yielded any relevant or useful information. They just wasted the investigators' time. And do you remember these guys from the beginning of the video? Those are Iraqi soldiers using what amounts to nothing more than dowsing rods to scan those vehicles for bombs. In their hand are $60,000 magic wands that they're using to scan for bombs. And when they guess wrong, people die. So what's the harm? Plenty. Dowsing is an idea straight out of the Dark Ages, and no matter how you dress it up, it's still just guessing and fooling yourself. When the dowser is aware of the material, suddenly the rods work. And when the dowser has no idea which bucket or what container contains whatever it is he's looking for, the dowsing rod ceases to function any better than chance or guessing. When tested under proper double-blind conditions, it never works. Science has opened our eyes to wonders beyond imagining. We gaze up into the heavens and look into the heart of our galaxy. We can look beyond even that and see the edge of our very universe, an echo of the beginning of time. Or we can turn our eyes inward and see things so impossibly small that they can pass through our skin like an open door. These are the vistas of science and reason, and we don't use magic sticks to find them.